Now before you crank, so that you fill it with oil, you get it all cranked up, you make sure that your distributor harness is disconnected. Make sure your ignition coil is disconnected. Yep. And make sure your fuel injector harness is disconnected. That way you're only using the starter to crank.
Turning it over. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you just turning it over. What do we call turning it over? You calling it crank.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
All right, now. Here you go, Frank. Now I'm going to disconnect the battery terminals. There you go. Positive off first. I just have these off really loose. And we'll stick those down like that. And now it might run a little bit lean, or it might run a little bit crappy at first because I don't have my intake. Actually, I have my MAF hooked up, so let's do that. Now your IAT, that's not really important. That can just dangle in there free, but you want your MAF hooked up. And this is already hooked up to my breather hose, so.
That's it. MAP sensor?
Yep. This one's actually a VAF, volume air sensor. And this one actually goes to my intake tubing, so that's not a big deal either. Make sure that you got all your little harnesses, everything's connected. Clip that down.
Oh, there it is.
Alright, and now you need your fuel pump relay. And that's only going to go in one direction, so you're good on that. And I'm just going to leave that sitting there for right now. I got my buddy Frank from across the street. He's a big NASCAR fan. He's going to just come chill out here because he wants to see this thing get started just about as much as everybody else on YouTube. He's seen me out here working on the thing. What the hell am I doing? I ain't even got no spark plugs in there yet.
Dang.
I am on a rush right now.
What are you thinking? They ain't even got the plugs in yet.
Alright, now when you put your spark plugs in, make sure you got a spark plug boot in there. It's going to stay in there nice and snug, like so. You do not want to drop these. If this comes out of your spark plug socket, comes out and drops down and hits the well, it's going to change that gap. And that's going to change how your car runs. It might run really bad. It might look like mechanical damage. So if you pull out a spark plug, do not immediately assume that it's just mechanical damage. It could be from when it was installed, somebody dropped it down in there. So you want to do a test kind of like that first. Then you drop that down in there. Make sure you got it threaded all right. Now you do not, once you get this in there, you do not want to torque it down very tight. You just give it a slight little turn. You want this basically hand tightened with a, what's it, hand tight with a quarter turn?
Something like that.
Something like that. So hand tight with a quarter turn. If you tighten those down too much, you're going to strip the threads when you try and get it out. Alright, now that you got your spark plugs in, you can put in your spark plug wires. Firing order on the distributor is actually marked. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 right on the distributor. And the NGK wires are also labeled. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 cylinders, so it's as simple as that. And I usually just start off by seeing about how long the wires are themselves, kind of like that. And then I'll go back and then I'll check, make sure that those are right. So this should be 2, and This one should be 3, and that's 4, and that's obviously only going to fit in one. So, alright, so we've got all our spark plugs installed, we've got our ignition wire installed. Next, just install your distributor harness. Your injector harness for harness number 1 should just clip right in. Alright, that's clipped in. Harness number 2, same exact deal. You stick it on and clip it in. It's as easy as that. Harness number 3. It's kind of hard with this PCV system in the way, but that should be good. And then harness number 4. No, I'm forgetting something, Frank. No, I'm forgetting something. Coolant. Jesus Christ. Now that you got your crank, you want to make sure that you refill all your coolant that you took out of the system. Now it's not going to be hot because you didn't run the car. The Mazda 66 takes about 7 quarts. This is a 50-50 premix, so I don't really have to mess with anything. Eric, the car guy, recommended a spill-free funnel, so I got myself a spill-free funnel. It comes with a whole bunch of little different adapter caps, so you got to make sure you got the right adapter on there. And mine's going to be a little Japanese cap, so I'm guessing that looks like it's a Japanese. Yeah, that's the one. See, that's the right size for that. See, that ain't supposed to happen. That's not spill free. That's a hassle. Ooh. How about them apples?
There you go.
What you think about that? That's what you got to do for it. And then this is if you want to raise the car, and that way your funnel, if you're on, like, say, wheel ramps or something, your funnel will actually be kind of up like that. So we don't need that for this application. All right, 7.4 quarts. How many quarts are in a gallon, Frank? Quick.
4 quarts.
Serious?
In a gallon?
Yeah.
I think it is about 3 or 4 quarts.
That's liters.
50. Liters?
3 liters. Telling me I'm gonna need more than this?
Probably.
You have any?
No, I sure ain't, David.
I got a hose.
That stuff there high too.
I got a hose.
That'll work.
All
Get
right.
some water with it.
Let's make sure my petcock is done. That's done. That's done. All my coolant lines, IAC. All right. I think we're ready to go.
Well, it makes it cheap now, man. God, it already look watery.
It does. It says diluted premix, but I mean it's got a tint of green to it. But
that's about it.
That's about it.
You know, you used to get that stuff so thick it was kind of oily, like thick green.
Yeah.
Kind of oily.
Well, that's a concentrate. This is premix. So.
Pouring it down. They charge you about $12 a bag.
Yeah, I still think this is a little too watered down.
That's why we fool with it. I just put water in mine. I ain't don't waste no money on no water, no water. Well, I ain't got it like you know. Since I don't waste no water, I got used to not having that.
Now that that's going down, check under the car, make sure there's no leaks or nothing. I don't see anything. All that stuff is from just spilling some stuff yesterday.
No, you were spilling it a while ago.
All right, this is an entire 1-gallon jug of premix. Now you know why they call this a spill-free funnel. This comes with that. So once you're done cranking and running your car, you put that in as a stopper and you just take the whole thing out. And you put it right back in there and drain all the rest right in there. That way you won't spill a drop. I saw somebody use that online and I was like, I gotta have one of those.
Holy cow.
It's still slowly burping.
Well, you done checked all of that on. Oh, I should have known. What I'm asking a stupid question, so I ought to know you done checked it online.
Everything I learned is from online.
You done checked it all.
I'm a computer guy, Frank. I don't know how to do any of this junk.
You know what?
But I know how to get it. I know how to find the information on the computer. Yep. This thing is just sucking down the coolant. I might actually have to break out my hose for this. Frank, let me tell you what. You are a smart guy. All right, so it go a lot faster. You don't have to worry about burping it. Just open up that radiator. So it's got some air, so it can breathe a little. Now, let's see. Now watch how fast this stuff goes down.
You got your fuel thing in? Your fuel, this thing here that you just laid there. You just stuck it there.
You know what, Frank?
Huh?
I don't know what I'd do without you. It's not getting spark. I don't think I'm
You
getting
got
spark.
it. This hell jumping. This hell jumping. You need to put something to that.
Frank? I don't know what I'd do without you.
Okay.
Well, I hope that was a good show, whatever that was. Yeah, of course, I'm not getting spark. But I could tell, I could hear it, and I could tell that I wasn't getting spark. So, you got, yep, that's the main ignition lead.
Without that cord.
It ain't gonna, there's not gonna be any spark that gets to it. And I did that on purpose.
I don't think it started. It sounds like it, since it's loading up now, it sounds kind of like it might be, the timing might be off a little bit. And you got a leak.
That's fuel.
Probably just getting started.
Yep. I got a crack in the fuel line. It's dripping fuel.
Yeah.
Alright, if you have a fuel leak in one of your hoses, the first thing that you should do is undo your fuel pump relay, undo your gas cap to release the evap pressure. You're still going to have gas spurt out of here while you're working on it though, because there's no way to purge unless you try and crank, and that's not worth it. So what I should actually try and do is take this this entire VAF bracket out. Stop. Take the key out. Alright, try again. Stop. Alright, let's try again. issues have to do with the EGR, because my EGR is bad. Probably going to stall out. Once the EGR goes up to over 2,000 RPMs, that's when EGR usually kicks in. It shouldn't be kicked in right now, but the fluctuating idle is could be really old gas. Starting to hear some knock. A lot of vibration is going on there. Full. Fluctuating idle has to do with my O2 sensor, because as you can see, I don't have the rest of my exhaust system hooked up, right? So the O2 sensor is sensing a lot of different conditions. You know, it's obviously sensing the exhaust, but it's also not, well, that's not going to sense back pressure, but the oxygen from outside is going to get there, because that O2 sensor is like right down at the bottom of those bolts of that mating surface. So the oxygen is going to come up and mess with that sensor, and that might be what is causing the fluctuating idle. But even so, it's not. That doesn't sound like a good running engine. That's, you know, that's not silent. The belt squeal took care of itself. It was probably just rust because it was sitting for so long. There's rust and all the ribs on the belt, on the actual pulleys, were all rusted. So maybe some of that squeal had to do with that. I highly doubt it. I should have taken a wire wheel brush to that and brushed all the rust off of every single pulley. That would have been smart. It's official, my car is completely retarded. Literally.